Almost 300,000 missing from cemetery accounts. Operating without a license, fined $10,000. And with that background, get this, the city of Detroit gave him a contract.
That's not right.
Tonight, Local 4 investigates the grave injustice.
Who's the city of Detroit doing business with? You know, dozens of Detroit families say their experience with the city cemetery that's being managed by an outside contractor has just been a nightmare.
It's been a mess. Local 4 investigators exposed reports of missing headstones, even some reports of missing bodies.
And you kept digging on this.
We did, because we were wondering if this is happening, how in the world did this contractor get the job? Now, we discovered there were plenty of red flags, and the city hired him anyway.
Bidding on the contract for Gethsemane at the time.
This is Sam Toko of ST Enterprises giving court testimony in 2022 about what happened at Detroit's Gethsemane Cemetery while he managed it. So how do we get here? Back in 2013, Toko's company was already managing two city-owned cemeteries, Mount Hazel and Forest Hill, when the city gave him a contract for Gethsemane.
But this isn't a story just about contracts. The mismanagement of Gethsemane Cemetery has created lasting pain for dozens of families.
That's what's killing me, because I had that bond with my son. Now I never see that again.
In 2010, Shauna Dudley's son, Daryl Johnson, was murdered.
And that was my one and one only son.
Shauna says for years, visiting Daryl's gravesite at Gethsemane Cemetery brought her some comfort, some connection with her son, until one day when she found that Daryl's headstone had been moved.
I don't think that he's there where he's supposed to be at.
More than 24 families told us similar stories: misplaced bodies, missing headstones.
We still haven't found Bert and Selma.
When headstones for John Barker's parents just disappeared from Gethsemane, he says the cemetery contractor told him it's the city's problem. The city told him to talk to the contractor.
Well, I would say who hired the contractors? It was the city.
Over the past 5 months, we scoured over 240 pages of city contracts, dozens of state documents, and then we went back 10 years to take a look at court records.
A card that has deceased name on it.
And that leads us to Sam Toko, a cemetery management contractor with a history of problems. This is what we uncovered. Sam Toko, through his company, ST Enterprises, had city contracts for Gethsemane between 2013 and 2020. But his history with cemeteries and cemetery problems goes back more than a decade.
I worked in a family cemetery business.
And what was the name of that business?
Knollwood Memorial Park.
Knollwood Memorial Park in Canton. We did some research and found out Sam Toko took over management there in 2003. And according to the state, he violated state cemetery law there again and again. In 2004, a state audit found almost $300,000 missing from cemetery accounts. Cemetery reports were not filed. Cemetery registration missing for a bit. He was also hit with a fine. Despite all those red flags, the city of Detroit gave him a contract. And at the same time, he continued to manage Knollwood Cemetery in Canton, where problems continued. A state cemetery commission audit found hundreds of thousands of dollars in cemetery funds still missing. More state-mandated cemetery reports not filed. And there was another state fine, $5,000, which went unpaid until it went into collection. So as this mess was going on in 2015, Sam Toko filed for bankruptcy protection. Despite that, the following year, the city of Detroit amended ST Enterprises' contract. In this deposition, Toko admits he pulled out of his city contract in 2020. And the next year, an FBI investigation found numerous bodies at Gethsemane buried where they weren't supposed to be.
How many burials did S&T Enterprises supervised between March of 2015 and May of 2020 at Gethsemane Cemetery? Ballpark.
2,000 to 3,000.
This court case, it didn't go anywhere. No one has faced criminal charges or responsibility for what happened at Gethsemane Cemetery.
No, it don't go away.
And the Detroit families who don't know where their loved ones are buried at Gethsemane say they are the victims of the city's contracting decisions.
Anxiety, emotion, you can't function. Your mind is just gone. My mind is completely gone about my son.
You got to feel for that mother, right? We did reach out to the city for comment. Crystal Perkins of Detroit's General Services Department said in an email, today our Office of Contracting and Procurement has procedures in place to screen potential contractors for such issues of concern. And there are not a lot of companies that perform this type of work, let alone bid for it, and finding capable operators has been a constant challenge. We also want you to scan this QR code and head to the clickondetroit.com page. It will take you to the special section with all of my previous investigations going back to this fall when we first uncovered the issue. There's also some brand new documents, including some legal filings key to this story. You can find all of that information all together in one spot.